Eagles. Eagles.
Welcome in, everybody, to the JAKIB Postgame Show here on Week 4 edition. The Eagles moved to 4-0 to start their football season. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today, 31-25, in a game that epitomized, again, for the second week in a row, the tale of two halves. First half, Eagles were clicking on all cylinders: offense, defense, special teams. Second half, they let the Bucs get back into the game. There's a ton to talk about. We'll be joined shortly by John McMullen as well. I'm here with Dan Sileo, host of the National Football Show. Sills, they get the win today. An interesting second half, I'd say, nonetheless. What are your thoughts on the first thoughts that come to mind here on this Eagles win?
Well, let's start here. If you told me you were going to be 4-0 with that gauntlet of teams at the beginning of the season, so let's begin there.
Right, I agree.
I would have said you're absolutely crazy that football team would have been 4-0. You beat some really good teams. The Bucs fought back, but hey, at the end of the day, man, I mean, you start the season off 4-0. That's fantastic coming out of the preseason, what you didn't do. And I know there's a lot to hit on here, and there's a lot when it comes to the offense, but this is what they're going to tell you. Zander, being conservative like that, won them that game. Look at the lack of turnovers on their end. Look at the Buccaneers with the turnovers on their end. I mean, listen, this was not a masterpiece. The last game was not a masterpiece. However, you are now officially, right, if I'm not mistaken, you're 20-1. This is what they're going to hang their hat on. There's so much to dissect, no doubt. Second half was brutal. By the way, Keely Ringo is terrible. Okay?
I didn't think he looked that bad.
Missed tackles. They completed passes in the second half at will on him. And that secondary gave it up a lot to Baker Mayfield. Now, first half, he wasn't bad. Second half, I thought Baker Mayfield was throwing the football and chucking it down the field. Again, at the end of the day, with who? Mika Buka and Bucky Irvin. There were two wide receivers, Zander. A running back and a wideout that had over 100 yards receiving in this ball game.
The Eagles played clammed up in this shell, though, in the second half. In the first half, they came out attacking. They obviously had the ball break their way a couple times. They made a great punt return for the touchdown, all these different things. And they play this aggressive, in-your-face brand of football, and they build this massive first-quarter lead, 24-6. And then they come out and it's like, look, I know you play differently when you have the lead. I'm not saying you don't do that, but Jalen Hurts didn't complete a pass in the second half. So he was 15-16 at halftime. He ended the game 15-24. The quarterback was 0 for 8 in the second half. I mean, I appreciate where you started because we had a tough start to the season with the schedule-wise. You're sitting here at 4-0. Agree. It's a good start nonetheless. And these are things, the problems are things that you can correct and build on. But at the end of the day, I don't know what they were doing in that second half, man. I mean, as a fan, you get a little bit fired up. You're like, what are we doing here? You know, you're letting them back in the football game. So I didn't really understand the game plan in the second half, though, Sills. I really didn't. If not for the play of some big defensive plays, you know, I don't know if you get out of that game that easy.
Bro, once again, your rushing attack is terrible.
Yeah.
If you take remember what I said to you. If you take Jalen Hurts out of your running game, he had 62 of your 88 yards rushing. I mean, you were annihilated in the run game today. And you're not winning ball games if Jalen Hurts is not playing the way Jalen Hurts is playing. If you look at the numbers, I mean, the Bucs had more total yards. Now, again, a lot of that's playing from behind. But they did outrush you, too, with people that I didn't even know could play in the offensive line. I mean, 2.8 yards per carry you guys had. And that's what Jalen Hurts' 9 carries for 62 yards.
Yeah, Saquon was 19-23. So I don't think Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley didn't have a good game. We joined now by John McMullen. So just got your opening thoughts on the game. Johnny Mack, Eagles win the game here today, 31-25. And really what seemed like it could have went a lot different. A putrid second half for the Eagles, but they do skate out of there with the win. Johnny Mack, your first couple thoughts that come to mind. Eagles start the year 4-0, John McMullen.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first and foremost thing. I thought coming into the season, if you looked at the schedule, this first 4-game stretch was the most difficult stretch on the schedule, and they're 4-0. So, that starts there. But yeah, obviously, kind of a flipping last week's script bad first half, good second half, good first half today, bad second half. Offensively, which is what people's talking. I thought the defense was great down the stretch, especially situationally with Vitz. That's when Vic's going to bring the pressure. Red zone, as I mentioned, and then in big situations, third long, in late in the game. That's when he does it. That's when he unfurls it. And I thought it worked great. Now they also had 2 blown coverages. But if you think about this game from a defensive perspective, and you don't have those blown coverages, it's pretty impressive throughout for 60 minutes. So I know you can't do that, and that's part of it. But I was much more impressed with the defense than the offense, believe it or not. As you mentioned, they can't get Saquon Barkley going. At the end of the day, we're talking about how good the first half was. Jalen Hurts ends up with 130 passing yards. Everybody's like, well, that's great. It's great. Creativity, blah, blah, blah. They still don't throw the ball consistently. But they win games, man. They win games. Today it's a block punt. It's Cam Latu. I want to give him the game ball, setting the tone. Plus, he had a bunch of big blocks. There's so many. When I watch other teams, there's so much. And you saw it with Baker Mayfield. Look, he's forcing throws. He's doing this. He's trying to make plays. If you're going to live on the edge like this, you got to play very soundly. And I think the Eagles play very soundly.
Yeah, they gave up 19 points in the second half, John.
Yeah,
they gave up 19 points, and they were able to run the ball at will.
On a 77-yard pass that was a
I get it.
No, yes type of play that should have been intercepted if Makuba had any clue where he was on the field. Would have been the easiest interception of the day. Would have been like catching a punt. I'm not saying that's good, but you got to learn from it. And then the 72-yard pass to Bucky Irving. Yeah. So again, I'm not saying that's good.
Right over John Campbell. I'm
not saying that's good, but and by the way, you see linebackers on running backs in coverage or linebacker. Jihad's great, and he made the interception to essentially win the game, but that's a mismatch. And when you extend the play that long, you can't expect a linebacker to cover that guy down the field. So those are things you have to clean up. But I'm saying overall, if you look at it, I think you'll see it in the grades. I think you'll see the defense played very well because I think they played very well. I
thought the defense was good. I did. But the second half, John, Sills, I'm going to come back to you here. Second half, offensively, you have this big output. Now, I know, again, you're going to play differently when you have the lead. I understand that. But I do think I think Jalen Hurts didn't complete a pass. He was 0 for 8 in the second half. So they basically did nothing offensively in the second half. I understand you win the game, but if you don't have that big of a margin, is that something you want to stick with? Is that a good philosophy? Is there any criticism of the second half offensively and what they did in that game?
Here's the criticism. Okay, well, yeah, everything that we're going to say here and be critical of, they're 20-1. And this is what they're going to hang their hat on. That conservative play wins ball games. As horrible as it looked, it doesn't matter if you're winning with conservative play. That is what they're going to hang their hat on. They're going to go into the Denver game with this. They are not deviating until somebody can beat them. John just told you, Zander, this guy had 100 yards in passing. Who cares? They're 20-1. It doesn't matter if you're looking for the beauty queen and you want to watch the beauty queen, the Eagle offense is not for you. But if you want to try to get to a championship, that's how they believe. They are not going to change any other way. Okay? Bucky Irving, dude, had 165 yards of total offense in this game. There were 2 receivers over 100 yards in this ball game. Now, granted, you're coming from behind and you're playing from behind. But the Philadelphia Eagles are not going to sit there and change in any way. We could sit here and rip Jalen. You don't win that ball game.
I'm not trying to rip him. I'm just wondering if the approach was a little bit like,
how could they
get a little more conservative? I just, I don't know if you want to go to lengths that they
want. If you want it to look sexy, you got the wrong team. Well, this is not going to look sexy, man.
Again, I think there's a little bit of an extreme here. I do think there's an extreme that we go to. It's like, again, I'm not expecting it to look sexy, but I don't know what the rundown was on our drives in the second half, but I know it wasn't
Dude,
good.
they were terrible.
John, what are your thoughts on the second half?
They were 3 and outs all over the table. I mean, they gradually got themselves back in the game. Remember what I told you too? Special teams, the Bucs are not very good on it. And sure enough, to open the game, that landed right there, and probably the outcome of the ball game was in that special teams play. Michael Clay, once again, really good special team stuff. I mean, the Bucs fought back, but they basically were in the same position that the Eagles were in that Rams game last week. They had to fight back. They fought back. They were able to get screenplays going in their with their running backs, like we said, we thought they had to because they don't really have anybody else. They couldn't get Otten going because the offensive line. But at the end of the day, Zander, I know this is coming from me. I'd like to sit here and take a crap all over on how it looked in the second half.
I'm not trying to crap.
You know
I'm just trying to be objective about,
when you're 20-1. I mean, what's
my argument?
Yeah.
What's my argument? I mean,
I get it.
And you're 4-0 against the Rams. Dude, the Rams and the Bucs could be in the NFC title game playing them in a couple weeks or in a couple months. One of those two teams could be playing in that, and you just beat them. And you beat them at their place, and you beat the Rams. Dude, the Rams and the Bucs are going to and they're going to be players in the playoffs once the Buccaneers get healthy. I wanted to sit here and kick the shit out of everybody in the second half, too, and how it looked. But you know what I can't do? I can't dispute 4-0 and 20-1. And that's how they're going to get on the bus and go, you know what? In college football, you have to be sexy and wins. In the NFL, I don't care if you win 3-2. Okay, a field goal and a safety. It's a win, baby. I mean,
I love how you guys are talking me off the ledge on this show. It's a beautiful thing. John, coming to you though. Thoughts on the second half?
I think it's a direct flip of the NFL script, which is out before. They have the table read. Key and Peele, Keegan-Michael Key has the table read. Same thing. I go back to Jalen's quote about the second half. Why did it change? Why did it change? And he chuckled and he said, well, it had to. This is the way the NFL works. So when you play a first half like the Bucs, two things are going to happen. You're either going to give up and roll over, which to their credit, they didn't do, or you're going to make a run, like an NBA run, which they did. That's what happens in this league. So how do you stave off? What's the difference between the Rams and the Eagles staving off? Well, the Eagles made 2 plays. They made the Jihad Campbell interception and the fumble. I forget who forced it. Might have been Jihad as well.
It was Jihad
on Bucky Irving.
Yep.
That's it. And that 20-1 Dan is talking about. So what was the turnover margin today? 2 for Tampa Bay, 0 for Philadelphia, 42-9. That's your game.
There's the game.
That's how you stave off the run.
Yep.
They made 2 plays.
Zander, those 2 turnovers right there, those 2 turnovers.
No, I get it. They're 2 big turnovers. There's no doubt about it. The defense I thought was great today. But I hear to your guys' point, I don't think the plan was to go 5 straight 3-and-outs or whatever.
No, it wasn't. But if you're losing, here's what I'm trying to say. If you're losing like the Bucs were, and it was 24-3 or whatever it was at the half, 24-6 because McLaughlin made the field goal, 24-6, and you're losing like that coming in the second half, you're willing to throw. Who knows? If the Eagles, what is the difference? What is the difference? Everybody wants to know the difference. Maybe Jalen Hurts chucks it down the field for A.J. Brown. Maybe he catches it. Maybe he goes for 77 yards. And maybe that 130 turns into 200 plus and everybody's, that doesn't look that bad. Why did it change for the Bucs? Because it had to.
Yeah, but John, don't you think we're sitting on extremes? Like, again, you're bringing me a 77-yard play, and then I'm bringing you 0 completions in the second half. Like, again, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to go overboard. No. I'm just wondering if you can consider if it's sustainable to have 0 completions. That's where I'm at.
Well, the difference is they're not running the football. So typically last year, they'll just hand it off to Saquon. He might lose 4 yards, but then he's breaking one for 15 and you got a first down and you're moving the chains.
By the way, Lane hurt again in this ball game too.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
shoulder.
And Jalen Carter was grabbing that shoulder too. I know he returned to the game, but those are something.
Well, Saquon got banged up too.
Yep.
And he returned to the game.
Twisted there. I mean, John's right on. The running game. I say it's not sustainable because, dude, you know what's going to happen? By the end of the year, you're going to be in a position where you're going to be worn out. If you can't get that passing game going to take some of the heat off the running game or to help the running game, you're going to wear these guys out in the O-line. I mean, you're starting this. You know what these guys look like to me? I'm talking the Eagles. They look like they're in the month of December and January right now. I mean, they're playing hard. They're playing rough. They're getting banged up. I mean, I've never seen the Eagle guys dropping like this in the last 4 years. Now, remember something. Here's a football team that's played extended football for the last 4 years, 5 years. And this is the kind of stuff you're looking for right now, where we're saying this. To your point, Zander, listen, it's not sustainable. You can't have you can't pitch Ofer in the second half in your passing game when you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So down the line, no, it's not sustainable. You got out of the gate, you're 4-0.
But
I mean, it's just not.
The one thing, and this is what I wish everyone could fact. You're not throwing an 0-4 if you don't have a huge lead.
Yeah, which
you're not. Right. You're not. You're not.
But that doesn't mean you're good with it, though, right, John?
No, because you want to. So they came out. If you look at it, they came out. They got the ball in the second half. First play, Saquon Barkley loses 3 yards. You're behind the chains already. Second play, you're trying to cut. So it's 2nd and 13. Jalen Hurts takes a sack. You're out. That drive is over. 3rd and 22. They just ran a little draw to A.J. Dillon. You punt. Second drive. This is the one where there's an issue. Jalen Hurts starts it off with a run for 7 yards, and instead of just taking the easy conversion with a couple runs, they take a deep shot to AJ, nothing, and then it's 3rd and 3, and they miss a pass to Will Shipley, and they're punting again. So, for the two conservative people, the passing people, the saw blitzes started to work in the second half for whatever reason. The third time they had the football, they're going to Calcaterra. Nothing. Incomplete. Jalen Hurts left end 2 yards. Jalen Hurts sacked again. No. Is it good? No. Of course not. But part of it is the personality of the game, which I try to always point out. They're not going in 0-4. If they're not winning. And that's a very delicate balance. I get it in the NFL.
I mean, minus 16 yards in the second half is what it's come out that they had in the second half, which is obviously not what you want.
They took a bunch of sacks.
Yeah.
And they didn't. The ugliest one was, it was like they had one drive later where it was, I think, 3 passes to AJ. And he wasn't open on any of them.
Were they forcing? Do you guys think they were forcing it to AJ Brown there? I saw some people putting it out. I saw some people putting it out.
Let me ask John this question. John, do you think defensive coordinators like Todd Bowles and Matt Eberflus and guys like Spagnuolo, you think they respect the Eagle passing game? Because it sure doesn't look it in the first 4 games.
I think they respect Jalen Hurts.
No, not the players. I'm talking about the passing game.
Well, that's what, because I say it all the time, because I don't think it
doesn't look it.
The Eagles don't play like anybody else plays. Like I always bring up Vic. Vic's got a bunch of copycats. Like over the years, there's probably been 15 guys who tried to play Vic's scheme over the past 5 to 10 years. Give me a copycat to the Eagles scheme. Doesn't exist.
Right.
Like playing Navy in college football. So if you're a defensive coordinator
playing Navy, so that reminds me of your Bryson Daly team.
Yeah. Well, that's what he.
Army, Georgia Tech.
Army wins a lot of games.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Sorry to cut you, John. Go ahead.
Nobody plays this way. So if you're another team and you're trying to the Bucks, you're trying to win the NFC South, or the Rams are trying to win the NFC West, you're not going to spend an inordinate amount of time preparing for this one weirdo, unique team. So you come up with some plan, and you might use that plan once a year. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. For the Eagles are like, I should say, because people are going to get upset. The comparison to Navy is the unique way they play. Nobody else plays that way. But they're good. They have talent, whereas Navy is usually out-talented by the bigger teams they play. So they have more talent and they play this unique way. So I think if you look at the first month of the season, I think a lot of people look at the numbers and say, oh, they're trying to take away Saquon Barkley. I think, and I've said this to Zander numerous times, everything's about taking away Jalen Hurts. And by that, I mean, keep him penned up in the pocket. And yes, throw the football. They'd rather have him throw the football. Keep him penned up in the pocket and limit the off-schedule gouging stuff.
Tell you what, John, 200 yards in total offense last week, too. The week before, I mean, it's just not sustainable. 4-0, I'm with you. They were 10-1 a couple of years back. Boy, I'm going to say this.
But here's what I'll say. Look at the big spots. Look at the third downs when they need a third down conversion. Man. And he gets it with his legs.
It's Zander, it is totally him, and I've said that since the opening game against Dallas. They are 4-0 because of one man, and that is that starting quarterback. Hey, and for the record, Vita Vea destroyed Cam Jurgens today. He totally destroyed him.
Vita Vea is good, man.
Man, that guy was
that's a tough task for Cam Jurgens.
Boy, I'll tell you,
is a big dude.
He was all over the place there, man. And I gotta, hey, and you know what I'll say too, to John's point here in the second half, I thought with about 13 minutes left in the game, the Eagles' pass rush started picking up, but Vic was creating. That was such a great stunt that Morrow.
Yeah, he did a lot more creating.
That, man. You see that stunt, John?
Yeah.
That Morrow Jomo came looping underneath and came inside and made that play on Mayfield. That was a critical play because they lost 12 yards on that play, and they took him that field goal kicker that the Bucks have. I don't even know who the hell that kid is.
Jason
McLaughlin. He was pretty damn good. I got to say, man, I mean, second half, 13 left. They started creating pressure because Vic was bringing it. He was not going to let Mayfield sit back there because, again, they were finding spaces in that zone out there. So,
high leverage, man. That's when Vic brings it. High leverage situation.
No, and John, to your point in that second half defense, Sills, you're right. I mean, they gave up a lot of points, but they gave up the two big plays. But outside of that, they had two takeaways, 2 fourth down stops in the second half, and the edge rushing room wasn't great, but we lost Nolan Smith this week. I mean, did we, you know what I mean? Did we expect to have a great edge rushing group? I think we kind of
I came out of that game, and I know people aren't going to agree because of the big plays, but I thought the defense played great. A couple things. One, Cooper DeJean is the best tackling cornerback in football, period, because there's not a lot of them. Zach Bond is just an amazing player. I said that at halftime.
He is so freaking good in space. And how, John, you and me go back to the first game last year against the Packers, and I said, that guy can't do that again.
Yeah. Nobody thought we did.
That guy sideline to sideline is as good as anybody in the league. I can't tell you how many critical plays that he has made going sideline to sideline like that. John, I do have a question for you, though. The defensive front is giving up for the fourth straight game 5 yards at carry. 5.5 yards at carry they've given up. And they gave it up to the Bucks, and the Bucks had numerous guys in the offensive line that were out, and that's another game where they gave up a double nickel. 5.5 yards at carry. It's 4 games in a row. So, I mean,
Well, I kind of, if you look at Vic's history, he's willing to give up. I hesitate to say because he would never say willing, but he's willing to trade. He's willing to trade off. He's willing to trade off. He can live with 5-yard runs if he gets what he wants on the back end. Now, about the only positive of not being at the game and being able to watch on TV is seeing Vic's reactions.
I
his
know.
utter disgust when they let up those 2 long touchdowns.
2 explosion plays, yeah.
Because that's what he's trying to prevent at all times.
Plus 25 plays is what when you play 2-eye safety, John, not giving up the plus 25, that's what that guy wants. He'll keep everything underneath because he knows you're going to make a mistake in the sequence somewhere. He doesn't want to give those plus 25ers up. And those 2 plays he'll probably hang on those, John, when you're talking to him next
week.
He's going to hang on those 2 plays all week.
Oh, yeah. He will harp on that because you know, everything in the first half, because the Bucs were moving the ball a little bit in the first half, but they couldn't convert. And everything seemed like a chore for them, and that's the whole goal. You know, make them, if they're going to go 80 yards, all right, but make them take 13, 14 plays to do it. In the second half, they gave up those 2 explosive plays, but, you know, they're all over the place as well. They're creating the fumble. They're creating the interception. JAKIB Campbell is like, he doesn't even know how to play, and he's making plays all over.
He's going to be really good, man. JAKIB Campbell is a beast.
Hey, John, do you think when you look at Saquon Barkley, last week 46, and this week I think he had 43, and the targets with AJ and with Devontae in this ball game, obviously in the first half of the game, I mean, when you take a look at where you are with the targets here, AJ Brown had 2 receptions for 7 yards in this ball game. I mean, how do you feel about that with 2 receptions for 7 yards?
9 targets.
By
the way, what was Jalen in the first half? 14 of 16?
15 of 16. 15 of 16.
I mean, right.
15 of 16. So he was 0 of 8 in the second half.
Yeah.
I know 3 on the one drive were to AJ. But everything else, if you look at the targets, 4 of 4 to Dallas, 4 of 4 to Barkley. It's just, you know, mainly underneath stuff. 2 of 2 for DeMonte. 1 of 2 to Calcaterra, 2 of 2 to Mechie. He missed Shipley once, and then he was 2 of 9 to AJ. Yeah, that's not good enough. I mean,
that's what I mean. Again, I feel like it almost feels like I'm crazy by saying this because you guys both said I'm wrong. Everybody in the chat saying I'm wrong, but it's like, can we really rely on again? They had a great game today, and they made some big plays in the stop, but 5 straight.
Who's going to stop them? The Giants coming up?
I'm just saying, John.
Malik Neighbors.
I'm not saying you got to push the ball downfield. You need to have a first down to control the clock. And
4 catches for 36 yards before with Devontae and AJ combined in this game. So I said it. Look at this is about winning the war, not winning these battles. You want to win a Super Bowl. That's where we are with this here. So I think I've heard John say that this is not sustainable if you want to win a Super Bowl. But again, until somebody shows them that they could come off the rails.
Well, to be fair,
they're not going to come off the rails. They're not. Why would they?
To be fair, I didn't think they could win a Super Bowl with how they played last year. Effective.
Yeah, but Barkley was hitting his head on the goalpost every down almost, John. That's not happening this
season. The margin of error is too small. That's my concern.
Yeah.
But when you see it week after week after week after week,
it becomes a thing. It is a thing.
Yeah. It becomes a thing.
Guys, I want to talk about Quinyon Mitchell a little bit here. 7 targets today, 2 receptions for 6 yards allowed, 0 first downs allowed, 3 stops on third down, and 5 pass deflection. Quinyon Mitchell, I mean, he is a damn good football player. He is a weapon.
Let me say this. Quinyon Mitchell's a great player. Well, you're going to get to a game, and I'm going to predict this, where there is a crew that is calling things tightly, and he's going to get like 4 PIs.
He pulled on him like at least 4 or 5 times in this game. He got away with a couple. Zander, I'll tell you the guy who's unbelievable in space. 2 of the best tacklers in this ball game. Excuse me, I'm going to use an F word here. That fucking Cooper DeJean can fucking.
Oh my God!
Holy
it's unbelievable.
Can he?
I'm gonna make a bold statement.
Wow,
he's the best. He is the best tackling corner.
Absolutely,
since Antoine Winfield Sr.
Bro, this guy can. I can't tell you how many times in space this guy makes plays. And when you got a guy like him and Bond, no wonder Vic Gamble's blitzing. When you got guys like that out there that make plays like that, do you know how hard it is to find one of those guys? And you've got 2 of those guys sitting back there in the secondary. I mean, listen, I'll take a little bit back on Ringo. I don't really think he was crazy bad.
Right,
I thought he was okay. I thought he was okay. I thought, again, tackling is still an issue with that guy. I mean,
I'll tell you what.
I'll
tell you what, and I said this at halftime. Nothing frustrating. If I were a coach, I would be so frustrated at my quarterback. It's like you're throwing the ball time after time to Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean in coverage, and Kaylee Ringo's out there, and I don't even know he's out there.
John, you're like this. You're sitting there looking at that, and you're going, "Why are you throwing? Why are you throwing to one of the best corners in the game? And you got guys in the secondary over there, and you're not going backside on that." I'm like, "What are you thinking now?" If it's on schedule, Vic, John, that's also Vic forcing him in to those throws too, to have to go to one side because of the disguise coverage.
But man, you got to find 7 and take it back. Like you think Tom Brady wouldn't find 7 on that field?
That's true. That's true. Wait, what'd you think of Ringo's play? Still said he didn't love it.
I thought he was rock solid.
Me too. I mean, I was good with it. I thought he was solid out there.
I don't think he was tested. I saw a couple missed tackles, but again, to your point, 90% of cornerbacks in this league can't tackle, so that doesn't surprise me. But in coverage, I thought he was fine for the most part. But I don't think they tested him either. Which, if I'm Todd Bowles, I'm like, we don't have any hair to pull out, but these guys frustrate the living hell out of me. I'm like, there's no situational awareness.
The Eagles had 58 plays in this game for 200 yards, and they're 20-1. It's the craziest football team.
And Nick had the great quote to the.
I've never seen a team like this, John. I've never seen a football team.
No, like this. Nobody plays like this. That's why I say it all the time. That's why I make the Navy comparison.
Look at
nobody
this.
Plays like this.
Look at this 280 carry, 200 yards in total offense, and they're 20-1. It's insane. I mean, you walk out of this game.
Nobody plays like this.
Yeah, you could sit here and get Zander. I want to rip everything on the second half. Bro, you're 20-1. You're 4-0 in that list of really good football teams. Hey, man, who knows? Cowboys may be a playoff team. I don't know how things are going to shake up by the end of the year. I mean, it's crazy. I've never seen a football team like that.
I agree, and we're 4-0, and that's the good news.
Nick had a great quote, I guess, to the production team. I'm not in the entertainment business. I'm here to win football games. To all the Drew Breeses of the world, it's ugly. It is ugly. It is non-aesthetic. But all they do is win.
Yeah, I mean, that again, I appreciate that. But that doesn't mean you want to go 0 for 5 or have 0 completed passes in the second half. I'm sorry. Anybody that tells me I'm wrong about that,
what do you want? You got a little flip to God, or you got a little tush-push tweak.
Do you know how bad I want to go there? Do you know how bad me, Mr.
You'll be there on Monday. Are you kidding?
Wait a minute. Do you know how hard I want to go there with the light the garbage can on fire thing? And then you know what John said?
Lighting the garbage can on fire.
20-1. The fuck? I can't fight that.
I know, but I'm not lighting the garbage can on fire. I'm just saying. I don't think
last week we
have to crawl back from 18. This week we try or 19 last week. This week we have an 18-point lead, and we let the Bucs get back into that football game because we put. All right, you don't think we could have done anything differently?
There's two ways an NFL game goes. You either give up and then you're blown off the field, which happens quite a bit, or you make a run. And the Bucs are a good team, and they made a run.
That's it. That's the only thing, John, that goes into it.
You don't have a very good passing game. You're not very good in your passing game, and you know what you are? You're 20-1.
We were 15-16 in the first half.
What happened last week? What happened last week?
Everybody.
The Eagles are a good team. They didn't roll over, and they made a run.
Zander, they're not a very good passing team. 4 catches for, what is it, 36 yards?
But they were 15-16. They can be a good passing team when they want to
be. Where? I haven't seen
Second half last week. First half this week. When they want to be, they can be.
In 4 games, they played 2 quarters of good passing offense. Is that right? 12 quarters.
Well,
You
there's
have
no.
to do that as being good.
I think what satiated people in the first half was the creativity down by the goal line. By the way, they're like, what are they at 11 for
11 for
11?
11, which is insane.
11
Great
for
on
11 in the red zone.
In the
Again,
red
the
zone.
unique nature of this team. But their longest pass play, I believe, was 22 yards. And then I had a 20-yarder, and that was it. Again, the stuff that got people excited, the little shovel pass to, well, the shovel pass to Dallas Goedert, the little tweak pass to Dallas Goedert. Plus, you had the tush push tweak, which they did last year, but it worked perfectly this year to Saquon. It's still a slog for them offense. It's been a slog all year for them.
I mean, again, we saw the tale of two halves again, though, and I just don't think you have to go to this extreme because you have a lead. Again, I understand it's going to look different. I understand, John, circumstantially, you play differently when you have a lead than when you're behind. But I don't think you go to the extreme of we can't convert one first down. We got 5 straight through. I mean, we're lucky this defense is young and healthy and talented because
all you need though is one run basically, and they didn't get it.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, what's wrong with the run game? What's wrong with the run game, John? Because there's a problem. There's a problem with the run game.
Well, I think the offensive line isn't playing as well. I think Barkley isn't playing as well. I think, you know, teams are overloading the front to deal with Jalen Hurts, and that also affects the running game. I think it all factors into it. Right? When you have that much traffic at the line of scrimmage, how many times is Saquon, but they mentioned it, I think 55% of the time, more than half of the time, he's getting hit in the backfield. Last year, there were times he wasn't getting hit until he was to the second level. Quite a few times. So I think it's a conflation of a lot of things. I know everybody, there's nothing in the NFL. Dan, you know this. When you're struggling in anything, it's not one thing. It's like a whole confluence of factors. And right now, the offensive line isn't playing as well as they did last season. They're banged up as well. Saquon isn't playing as well. Maybe he's banged up now as well, too. For whatever reason, you know who's carrying their freaking run game? Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. He's been doing it since the Dallas game. John, I'll also put this out there. In 4 games, they've allowed teams back, or the Rams too. They've not been able to put teams away. Last year, from that bye week, they put teams away. They're allowing teams to come back in on them in every single football game. So, I mean, this goes back to the run game. The run game not being able to sit there and take some of that clock off. You're allowing teams to get back in ball games. And if you get 3 and outs, you know what that is? That's stealing possessions. And that's kind of how these teams are still hanging out there with an opportunity to win a ball game here. I mean, the Bucs turned that thing into a 1-possession game with about 6 or 4 minutes left in the ball game. If they had
and by the way, an example, because of football not being a statistical game, not that this is a big thing, but Braden Mann gets credit for a 34-yard loss of a run on the final play. So that factors into the team stats. And Nick Sirianni,
to his point, for that final number for sure.
But Nick Sirianni, to his point, is playing situational football. There's 6 seconds left. You don't want to give him a chance for a block punt. You don't want to give him a chance for a return. What do? You run it out the back of the end zone with the punter, waste the 6 seconds, but you lose 34 yards on the stat sheet, pointing to his, I'm not in the entertainment business. I'm not trying to make these loser stat people happy.
John, wanting 1 first down in the second half does not make me a loser stat person.
I was speaking of
that's
more.
What you're insinuating, because I keep saying to have 0 completion.
I wasn't speaking of it. You know me. Look, if everybody's going to take that personally, it's fine if you want to take it personally. But I've been saying that for 15 freaking years, than longer.
Gary Cobb just texted me and said that AJ and Lane Johnson had no comment after the ball game. Just so you know right now, AJ's not very happy right now, and You're
AJ
going
had
to
a bad game.
What's that?
Yeah,
AJ
he
had
had
a bad game.
9 targets and only 2 catches.
And he was
I
not
felt
open.
like they were forcing him to him a little bit, but I couldn't really tell.
He was not open.
I thought that kid Benjamin Orson did a pretty damn good job on him.
And nobody's a bigger AJ Brown guy than me. He was not open. So, there's some weeks where I say, and last week was one of them where you saw but whatever it was, the heat, whatever. I mean, there are a couple those deep shots he took 2 deep shots to him. Not open on either.
Barkley just said, John, they have no identity.
Yeah, they don't. I mean,
they can't run the ball. They can't pass the ball. Well, their identity is winning.
Hey, their identity's winning. That's what it is. I mean, they just win.
Again, it's weird how I've become the one that has questions after 4-0 start. I'm happy they're 4-0. I just don't think
me, man. I want to see.
I know. I'm just saying. I mean, look.
Well, I think the defense played well today.
They played really well. I think this defense can be a top 5 unit by the end of the year.
I'm very impressed.
They'll fall in the standings though again because of that though too.
Oh yeah, they'll drop
400 yards.
Yeah. And that's like, who gives a shit? That's my point. Who gives a shit?
Yeah,
that group was dominant when they needed to be dominant.
Yeah, Zander, they're going to fall in the numbers because of the rushing yards and also because of the passing yards.
Yeah,
and what they did in the second half. They were 18th heading into this game. They'll probably fall to 20th in this game after this game.
Yeah, I probably. And the 2 70-yard pass plays.
He had explosion plays.
Yeah, we'll get to some chat check too here. We'll go to some super chats here. I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button. The Philadelphia Eagles are 4-0, everybody. They win the
most
football
important stat.
Yep, 31-25. Jalen Hurts was 15-24 for 130 and 2 touchdowns. He also had 9 carries for 62 yards. So most of your offense today came from the quarterback.
9 carries for 62 yards. Don't dismiss that, by the way.
No, that's
he breaks people's backs with those runs.
Did you see Vita Vea and the front 7 guys when he got that one?
Yeah.
Did you see those guys throw their hands up and go like this?
Yeah.
Holy cow. And he looked over at the sidelines. Man, when a quarterback does that and you're in 3rd and long, like he did in 22, and he makes those plays like that, it is the ultimate backbreaker. When you are playing like that in a quarterback.
You're doing everything right, and the quarterback sneaks out, and you're like, yeah, you're just
John,
so
you see
frustrated.
What he did also in the second half? He started picking the spots where he was like, spread them out, run up the middle. Spread them out, run up the middle. And that's how he extended some of those plays too. So, again, I mean, you're right. Hurts is averaging more rushing